On the basis of this, the theme of the chapter can be categorized into three parts. First is technological progress and education. In the chapter, the author constructs a futuristic world in the year 2157, in which traditional school has been replaced with a computerized homeschooling system. The story follows an 11-year-old girl named Margie who is mystified by the very old book about school that her friend Tommy found. With young and curious Margie as the story's protagonist, Asimov allows questions of technological progress to be filtered through a lens of innocence, although treated with frankness. Asimov's story is a warning about the power of technological progress. In detailing this futuristic, computerized, and highly individualized educational system, the story suggests that technological progress can have major drawbacks, especially in the realm of education and social development. Such a system is impersonal and minimizes human connection, which can be isolating and unproductive for students. For Margie and Tommy, going to school means sitting alone in a room in their respective houses while staring at a television screen that mechanically transmits information at a computer set pace, a system that is meant to be individualized and efficient. However, by contrasting human teachers with computers and artificial intelligence, the author suggests that such high-tech learning isn't so efficient after all. In the story, students are taught individually by machines that can be adjusted by a human mechanic to meet each child's specific learning needs. However, while the computers are individualized, they aren't very personal. The robotic teachers lack human emotion and the ability to connect and support the student on a personal level. Instead, they are just big screens on which all the lessons are shown and the questions are asked. For instance, when Margie begins doing worse and worse in geography, the mechanical teacher can't sit down with her and talk candidly about what she is specifically struggling with or what other learning techniques might be helpful for her. Instead, it just gives her test after test, all of which she does poorly on. It gets so bad that Margie's mother has to call the county inspector, who is a mechanic that manually reprograms mechanical teachers and sets their pace for each individual student. Although the author constructs futuristic education as being based on artificial intelligence, it is paradoxical that a human must come and fix Margie's computerized teacher. Because the technology itself, the mechanical computer, does not have the ability to personalize itself to each student in the way that the human inspector can. It seems that technological progress doesn't necessarily lead to the more efficient and individualized education it strives to create. However, when talking to Tommy about the kind of old-fashioned education that is detailed in Tommy's very old book, Margie expresses disbelief that a human could ever effectively teach students, saying bluntly, "A man can't know as much as mechanical teacher." This is an important part of the point that Asimov is making. Although it is true that a human being could never store and be able to recall as much raw data as a computer, a mechanical teacher lacks the ability to interact with students in the way that someone like the county inspector can. With Asimov is providing an early but now familiar critique of the computer age. In exchange for a wealth of knowledge, society has traded more familiar and nourishing forms of human engagement. The old book about school also pinpoints the lack human connection in computerized education when it comes to relationships among students. In contrasting the way students used to engage with one another versus the way they do in the story's futuristic setting, Asimov emphasizes how technological progress can isolate humans from social interaction and replace fun and curiosity with efficiency and detachment. In the story, Margie's interaction with other children is limited to occasionally playing with her friend Tommy. While discussing Tommy's old book, Margie finds it difficult to believe that there could have been a time where children were taught in groups because this contrasts so heavily with the individualized learning she is familiar with. Asimov is suggesting here that although computers can present more information more quickly, such an approach perhaps deprives children of the important social experience of school. At the end of the story, Margie daydreams of the fun that her grandfather's grandfather had when he was a boy, back when all the kids from the whole neighborhood flocked to the schoolyard every day, laughing and shouting. A situation that couldn't be more different from the lonely way in which Margie learns. In this old fashioned education, children learn the same things so they could help one another on the homework and talk about it. Even though school in the old days is not individualized, students had the ability to learn from each other, which is another, perhaps richer layer to education that Margie's current system lacks. On the surface, the fun they had is a simplistic children's story, yet the author Asimov also provides a serious warning that technological progress is not always social progress. The story clearly indicates the problems with computerized educational systems, including the lack of social interaction with another children, impersonal teachers and learning environments, and the inability for artificial intelligence to actively engage students in the learning process. Although the reader might imagine computerized learning to be more fun than traditional school, Asimov's story critiques this notion by illustrating the downsides of such an approach. Now, the next part is books and preservation of the past. Even though the fun they had takes place in a futuristic world where computerized technology is the basis of education and society, Asimov's story also expresses the importance of the preservation of the past. The very old book that the children find is not simply a book but a valuable historical document or archival object. The book is both a primary source and record of times gone by. Through the children's fascination with the old book that Tommy finds in his attic, plus the fact that the book is still intact hundreds of years after the switch to digital books, the author argues that traditional paper-bound books are powerful because of the way they incite curiosity and preserve former times. Asimov asserts the preservation of the past is an important key to knowledge and curiosity, suggesting that learning about history also enhances understanding of the present. The story centers around the idea of preservation. The ancient book contains some sort of story or information about old-fashioned schools, present-day schools for the reader. While the books form a traditional book with paper pages and inked words, preserves a slice of history in a time where books have all gone digital. Tommy and Margie's description of the book reflects its age and how different it is from their computerized book. The book is a remnant of the past, with its yellow and crinkly pages, with words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. The children cannot comprehend why the words within a print book are stationary. Perhaps Asimov is asserting the durable quality of print to preserve not only the words on the page but also the stories and lessons from the past. It's also fitting that Tommy finds the book in his attic. The attic is a space of preservation where Tommy's family has stored relics of the past so that those objects can be dusted off and revisited again someday. Even though the children claim to find the book strange, they also find it incredibly intriguing and valuable, pointing to the idea that the preservation of the past and the printed word both have a unique ability to incite curiosity. The children are enthralled by the book, and although they find past education funny, they want to continue to read and learn about the past. When Margie's mom tells her that it is time for school, Margie responds, "Not yet," with haste and asks Tommy if she can continue reading the book after school. Margie's curiosity grows as she continues to think about the book and the history of education, leading her to daydream and even be distracted from her math lesson. Because of the contents of the book, Margie now longs for the schools of the past where children learn and play together. She was thinking about the old schools. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. Meanwhile, the mechanical teacher drones on about fractions, unaware that Margie's attention has been captivated by something else. Margie's daydream evoked by the book and history stands in direct contrast to the computer's stale math lesson that fails to engage Margie, spark her imagination, or encourage her to think critically. Thus, the book's evocation of the past speaks to the power of preservation of history and the printed word to lead to wonder, curiosity, and a longing for times gone by. Although the book is the most notable historical document in the story, oral tales and stories passed on by family members from generation to generation also play a role in preserving the past. The book belongs to Tommy's family and has likely been passed on from one generation to another for centuries. Through this handoff, the story implies that family is important for preserving the past, as Tommy wouldn't have had access to the very old book without many generations before him preserving a piece of history for him later discover. Orality also plays a role in the fun they had, as Margie's family has passed down verbal stories of the past. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. With this, Asimov asserts that family plays a special role in passing down stories in order to preserve the past and future, nurture awareness and imagination. Asimov's story itself preserves the past, enfolding into pages the spirit of the 1950s. The story encapsulates the burgeoning technological developments of the time and the growing awareness of a possible future that is dominated by technology. A future that could replace the printed word, and the importance of preserving the past, history, and the stories that humankind tells. Although the computer technology in the story is outdated from the computers that contemporary readers are familiar with, the fun they had is a warning that the future increasingly relies on technological progress and becomes more digitized. It is extremely important to preserve the past, to cultivate imagination and curiosity, and to continue to learn from history. Now, and the third is gratitude and wanting. The central arc of the fun they had focuses on Margie learning about the schools and education of the past, leading to her wishing for a school in which she could learn and have fun with other children. Through Margie's longing to experience school the way her ancestors did many years ago, Asimov suggests that it's natural for people to want what they don't have, but that people should try to be grateful for all the things that are good about their situation and actively work to change what's not. By reading the book about old education systems, Margie becomes acutely aware of all her computerized school lacks. She takes up a grass is greener mentality, assuming that school in the old days was much better than the kind of computerized learning she is subjected to now. At the beginning of the story, Margie is adamant that she hates school. Once she learns about old-fashioned schools from Tommy's very old book, she becomes sensitized to all the things her school is missing, which are contributing to her hatred of it. She wishes that she could have a school system with a real teacher and play with all the kids from the whole neighborhood and learn sitting together in the schoolroom, a situation that contrasts sharply with Margie's solo learning in front of a computer screen. Another reason that Margie hates her mechanical school is because of the computer's inability to engage her emotionally and understand what she is struggling. Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse. She despises a mechanical information driven system that she is accustomed to and yearns for the camaraderie of human teachers and peers, which she learns about through the old book to help her. Through Margie's growing contempt for her current situation, Asimov not only suggests that it is natural for people who to want that they do not have, but also natural for people to dream and imagine what seems to be missing and of what is an essential part of society and education. In the case of history, social development, emotional engagement, and human interaction. Although Margie is adamant in her hatred towards computerized education and yearns for the schools for the past, Tommy and Margie also remain grateful for the benefits of the schooling system and work in small ways to change what they don't like, whether they realize it or not. Margie and Tommy are well aware of the benefit of abundance produced by their computers and televisions. Tommy in particular is grateful that his television can hold million books and that it's good for plenty more. Even though they are fascinated by the very old book and the old-fashioned schools it speaks of, the kids are able to find bright spots in their own situation. Furthermore, even though Margie and Tommy do not get to learn with other children and do not usually learn about real books, the two children pore over the ancient book and spend time together to infuse some elements of old school learning into their lives. This is a small way for the two kids to actively change their situation and align it more closely with the type of engaged communal education that Margie in particular longs for. So the moral of Asimov's story is neatly summed up in the age-old adage, the grass is always greener on the other side, suggesting that it is the human nature to both desire what one doesn't have and be grateful for what one does. And while Asimov indicates that no education system is completely perfect and thus that Margie has a right to wish her situation was different, he also shows the value in being appreciative for what one does have. Indeed, Margie's hatred for school will perhaps resonate with some readers, but her longing for the education system of days gone by, that is, the type of school modern readers are familiar with, may remind readers that they perhaps have things better than they realize.